So let's talk about the difference between the wordings on these kinds of questions. Okay, first of all, this one, and I think this is, these are pretty self-explanatory, but what's important is to pay attention to the wording either in the box, in the paragraph that comes before it, or in the box itself, right? So in this box, which is example 1, it's giving t in minutes. This is my input, right? We know that. And then it says S of t. So S of t means I'm plugging t in, and S is what I'm getting out of it, right? So now this is the output. So if I wanted to find rate of change, I would do like a y2 minus a y1 over an x2 minus x1, right? But what changes, okay, first what changes obviously is my interval. This is not just a single input value. But then also notice it says average rate of change. So this is not an output, this is a rate of change, okay? So when it says the table gives the average rate of change of a function f over different intervals, which interval does the function increase most, okay? So first of all, we need to pay attention that this is a rate of change and not just output, and that this is your interval, so this is your change in x, okay? So this is my change in x for each of these. We talked about yesterday that it's different for each one. We said this is only 1, this was 2, this was 3, and this was 4, okay? But this is not your output. If this had said f of t or whatever here, then it's your output. But this is not your output. This is why, this is the mistake I made yesterday. If it says rate of change, that is your rate of change. So your average rate of change equals the change in output, or the change in y, over the change in your input, or change in x, right? Change in y, change in x. So if it wants to know what the physical increase is, that is going to be your change in y. So for each of these, I'm going to take the average rate of change, like negative 12, set it equal to the change in the output is what I don't know. What I do know is the change in the input. And then I would do the next one. 8 equals the change in y I don't know. The change in x is 2. Go to the next one. 7, change in y I don't know. Change in input is 3. And the last one, 5, change in y over change in input, which is 4.
So I figured out that this was wrong when I was doing the homework. So I had to figure out why was wrong. And it said
And then you figure out your teacher made a mistake.
Is width.
Yeah.
It's the width of the interval. So if you multiply and you multiply the width of the interval by the average rate of change, then you get the
Yeah. Yeah. So in each of these, we're going to end up multiplying, right? Multiply by 1, this would be 12. Multiply by 2, this would be 16. Multiply by 3, this is 21. And multiply by 4, and this is 20, okay? Now, the other tricky part is the wording here, which of the function increase most. So that means I need it to be an increase, right? It doesn't say which is the most or which is the least. It says which one increases most. If it says which one increases most or decreases most, now I'm paying attention to the sign, okay? If it says which one has the biggest or least change, now you're paying attention to the absolute value of it. If it says which one is the most or least, now you have to take in consideration the positive and the negative, which also happen on the multiple choice on your AP questions. I'll go to that next, okay? So because this is an increase, I rule out the 12 because that was a decrease, and I look at the next 3, and the one that has the biggest change is 21. The biggest increase would be 21. So on the interval of 3, which is less than or equal to 6, which is less than or equal, 3, which is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 6. I also, because I have a child that's in this class, and I got to experience the parent portion of it, I need you to know you don't have to get them right every time. And I need you to know that you're not going to know how to do all of them. And it has to be okay. It has to be okay. Like the physical, mental torture you put yourself through, it has to be okay. Because if I teach you how to do every single one of the AP classroom questions, and you go into every homework like, oh, she taught me how to do this, I know how to do this. She taught me how to do this, I know how to do this. And then you go take your AP exam, and they twist up those questions, you're going to panic and freak the heck out. So you have to experience in little batches not knowing how to do things and it being okay. And the goal is to try it. And if you get it wrong, we'll talk about it. But it has to be okay to get it wrong. And it has to be okay for you to be like, she didn't teach this. because I can't. I cannot teach you. It's not physically possible because they're going to put something on that test I've never seen before. Okay? It has to be okay. Nobody needs to get a perfect score on AP. Little freaks of nature. Nobody needs to get a perfect score on AP. Okay? All right. All right. So now, so let's go. This is the quiz review that was posted. Okay? For the key, you'll see I wrote all of these in inequality format. Okay? So if you want to make it easy on yourself to grade, to check your answers, I would do the same. Make all these inequality format. So based on these two graphs, you're answering all these parts. Concave up, concave down, increasing, decreasing, zeros. Where is the graph positive? When is it negative? When is the rate of change increasing? When is the rate of change decreasing? If you know what you're doing, these are already answered, right? And then find the y-intercepts of the function. That's for 2 and 3. Then the next page, okay? This one is your input and your output, and it's asking for a rate of change. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, like normal. This one, notice, here's my interval, and here's my average rate of change. So this is like the one we just talked about, okay? So it's extra practice for both of those things.